Hey everyone, welcome back to Trigger Warning. Trigger warnings might be coming up. I'm in a different place. There's no car. Hooray. That might not be always. I'm not even sure where to start, but I'm definitely tender. And if I'm honest, I try to be honest in every video. I think hopefully those of you know that that's true. The last, few days, but even more so, have been really hard. And I actually think it goes back even farther than that. Even as I'm thinking about sharing this, there's like this voice, I guess, in my head that's like hearing, it wasn't that bad or whatever. I'm not even sure what the outcome of this is. I guess for me, I'm hoping for it to be a little bit of relief. For most of my life, the things that I remember anyway, have been I can't think of a good descriptive word, have been littered with emotion and tears. And as I've gotten older, especially in the last year, I think I've finally stumbled upon and been willing to call it trauma. And there's a part of me when I hear myself say that, it sounds like I'm over dramatizing, I have the basic story. I wasn't beat that I can remember. But I have really big responses to things that I always have. That's what I can remember. And the more that I've learned recently about myself and about triggers and about trauma responses and about all of those things, it keeps pointing to the fact that there's something that was traumatizing that happened in my early developmental years. That's really weird to kind of admit and also to come to terms with when there's no memory of it. It feels really weird. But tears don't just happen. I'm about to share something that I recognize to some people may sound really crazy. And to some people it may be fine. It may be normal. It won't faze you at all. There is hesitation to share for that reason. But I'd rather share it, I guess. guess a little bit of context. About a year ago, I did a lot of research for myself because I was not in a good place and I just couldn't figure out why. You know, it was like I had moved to a new place. I mean, yeah, granted, I was living under my mom's roof, which is a huge pain point for me, a huge trigger. But it's not like we were seeing each other. But that probably is part of the trigger. But yeah, I was luckily living there for free. I mean, I was paying for my own groceries. I was living in my own separate apartment. It's not like I was interacting, you know, I basically lived alone. I bought my own groceries, I made my own meals, I did whatever. I was subbing, and I was a student full-time, finishing up my degree. So, you know, I was busy, and I was kind of dating someone. I don't know. But that kept me occupied. But anyway, I was doing some research on something because I was like, what I'm experiencing, it doesn't feel normal. And I stumbled on this video, I guess, on the nervous system regulation. It was all connected to trauma and a dysregulation of your system. Basically, from my understanding right now, is a fight or flight switch that's been constantly turned on because a lack of safety as a kid. And that can come from a lot of places. It doesn't have to be big T trauma, like, you know, getting beat or like any other kinds of physical abuse. It can be as simple as some sort of neglect, whatever, right? But again, it's like I go back and it's like I don't have a lot of memories to connect to any of that. So it was a whole long preface to explain the thing that I was about to say. But I discovered that, and I kind of went on a journey of just kind of like deep diving into what that looks like. And I don't even know, like fast forward a little bit later, I got an email in my inbox, I think, from Alive and Free Consulting, and I was on their email list because at the beginning of COVID, I found them and did like a little mini free course of theirs, which really did, like, it was eye-opening for me. That might have been really the start of this journey, more so than the nervous system regulation stuff, but that was a big turning point too. And anyway, they were sharing something about doing, like, opening up a new program and learning about coaching to kind of like, if that's the way that you want to go, to maybe like start your own coaching business, whatever, right? And that's actually something that's been on my heart for a couple years prior to this email popping up in my inbox. I'd been doing some courses and things online already, just because of where I've been at and what I've been through. That sounds so dramatic. And I'm hearing myself say that even now, and it's like I'm invalidating my experiences. So anyway, I decided to take the leap, and I did the coaching program. And I'm grateful for it. I knew going in, wow, there's still that thing I didn't share. We're getting there, I promise. I guess in context, for those of you who may not know me, like, I do consider myself a believer. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Savior. I'm in a weird transition in my relationship with him too, trying to figure out what that looks like in light of me processing all of this stuff. But anyway, I believe that he speaks to us, that we can hear him. So, preface to preface to preface, all that to say, I knew going into this this program, I felt like I was told that it would be more for me first, right? Like, for those of you who have been in any sort of church religious circle, most likely Christian, I don't know if other religions use these kinds of terms, so, you know, that's naive of me, and I apologize, but they have this analogy of getting on the surgery table, and like being, you know, how God will, like, it's like a surgery and he's removing, and, you know, whatever, like, that was kind of the analogy that was brought to mind when I said yes to this program. I felt like he said to me that it would be like me getting on the surgery table, and that I would go first, and that this program was more for me first. And I guess, yeah, but I'm not stitched up, I guess. It's been a year. And I want to say the first 3 months, I think it was really empowering for me. And then we got into like some of the really nitty gritty dirty stuff that goes back to like childhood. Like grieving the things that you didn't have. And that wrecked me. Like, I'm grateful. Like, those books were amazing, and, you know, there's like those books that you're like, oh, I want to just ingest every part of this word for word and live this out, and those were those books. But yeah, I don't know, I guess something clicked or shifted inside of me, and it's been like, I guess I just don't know how to stop. I think some of it is grieving, and then the other part is the triggers. And I'm not sure which is which yet. So that's the preface of the preface of the preface of the preface. All that to say that when I got to those modulars, modules, I don't remember if I was doing a coaching session, because that was part of the process. We practiced with other people in the program, for, you know, comfortability and for hours and whatever. And I actually just started to, you know, I guess coach myself in a way. I would put my camera on and, you know, record it like I was having a session with somebody else, only I was coaching myself. And the phone will stop in a sec, but I'm not getting up to move it or turn it off. So I remember this one day really clearly. Yeah, that I was coaching myself, and something came up and I had this picture, this really clear picture in my head. And it was me. It was like I was watching a movie of myself as a baby. She was in the crib and she was crying. And then it was like everything zoomed out and I could see the whole picture, and I was in the crib, was in my parents' bedroom. They had the waterbed right here in the middle. My crib was over here. The bathroom was over here. From how I was viewing this picture, and it zoomed out, like I said, and I saw the whole room, and both my parents were in the room. My mom was on the side of the bed closest to where my crib was, and she was curled up in pain. And then my dad was next to her, just staring, not engaged, not comforting her, not getting up to see if I needed anything to comfort me. Nothing. No, and some people might just shut that off and just think that that's crazy. But I think it speaks really deeply. And how early this trauma set in for me of neglect. It might have been the first instance, right, where it's like, I'm a baby. I literally cannot meet my own needs. And I learned that they weren't going to get met. And I'm an infant. I don't know any different. I'm trying to decide if there's more that I want to share. I mean, this isn't really the reason why I hopped on here. I was actually going to share more as to what's happening, like, currently in my life that's been... It hurts. But I think I'm just gonna leave this one. I wish that I had something encouraging to say to you. But don't right now. I guess the only thing that I can say is that your pain and your experiences and how you perceive what's happening in the world is valid. I know what it feels like to be so confused and to not know. So if you're crying, if you're angry, if there's tears, if there's any sort of emotion, it's tied to something and it's real. I love you.